Hi, I made a video a while ago that sort of blew up out of nowhere. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I did not think it would get that much attention, but there was one section I feel like I need to talk a little bit more about. The editing. I brought up Barry Bebop to signify a change in Doug's videos, but I feel pretty bad for not crediting the other editors as well. One of them even commented in the video, so this is to sort of make up for that. The second thing is, I was kind of vague as to how different the editing actually is. And as I thought more about it, I went, man, there's a lot of cool things to talk about. Now, there's two kinds of editing. There's visual and storytelling. But let's go over visual editing and what I mean by this first. I think visual editing is an edit that is very noticeable. Stuff like a screen filter or sound effects. In Doug's AI clickbait video, there's a lot of these crazy effects going on. It's stupid and I love it. It could also be something extravagant like a montage. Let's talk about the editor Keke. Keke? I think it's pronounced Keke. In Doug's video about breaking the law, he dies a lot. Keke took this opportunity to compile all these deaths in a fun and energetic way, but also to time it with the music because, like, wow, editing. Now, I'm not shaming anyone for pointing at the really obvious examples because I think these are pretty cool too and also need proper recognition. Shut up! But some edits aren't as simple as they appear. Whenever Doug says something outrageous like Jake from State Farm is really boring, wait a second, he's right! He's freaking right! The camera would cut closer to him to basically emphasize what he says. Well, you could actually use this to make a jump cut. Mckl, or Mike Remer, let's just call him Mike, does this really well. Because he focused on Doug for this scene, you probably didn't even notice the huge leap of time that just happened. For context, Doug was supposed to play for 15 minutes, but played for another 30 minutes so he can beat this boss. I actually edited this segment for fun, and after doing so, yeah, I can understand why you cut it out. What I'm saying here is, while this cut is really simple, it was a really effective transition as it draws your eyes away from the timer while also maintaining the flow of the conversation. Hey, let's talk about storytelling editing. This is when I get to put on my nerd glasses and have the pretentious police come knocking on my door. So editing in film is basically the relationship between shots. How shots are related to each other. This sounds extremely vague and nonsensical because it is. To understand this, let's break down a video edited by Barry. I did it. I said a name right. Barry uses a subtle technique called grouping. I don't know if what he does has a specific name. Compilation? I don't know. In Doug's GTA voice commands challenge, Barry breaks down the video with chapters with the crazy shenanigans going on. Now, this is a really obvious example of how he groups things together. He even titles each section of video, except he's actually done this before in Doug's Smash Bros challenge. There's basically 3 groups of scenes in this video. Doug learning new words / getting tricked by a message, him saying like, and the voice program screwing him over. The video starts out with him learning what words to not say like Google Chrome and Luigi, but then it slowly transitions to him just using the word like. And after that's over, Barry shows clips of the voice program mishearing Doug. The significance of this is it makes it easy for the viewer to understand what's going on. If he took a few clips from these groups and rearranged them randomly, it would be a little bit confusing. Since chat is using so many different tricks, figuring out what the trick is by itself would be a bit hard, especially with the program messing up occasionally. By grouping these things together, it makes it clear what exactly is happening, but also teaches you what to come. By cementing these ideas into your brain, you get more used to it when they suddenly aren't grouped together, which makes the whole video run very smoothly. Next, let's talk about another cool editor, CyVoltage, or is it CyVoltage? I don't know. One of my favorite videos from Doug is his GTA 5 community challenge video. I always assumed this video was edited by Barry, but it was actually done by CyVoltage, who has made a lot more videos than I've realized, so I'm glad that I get to properly discuss his work here. Anyway, this lesson is about pacing. I think the thing people would recognize most is this bit with the words right here, but there's a lot going on everywhere. Towards the end of the video, this happens.
I need to eat food. No! All I've had for 12 hours is olive oil.
The sentence is broken up into 3 shots. Now, editor, man, definitely could have cut out the explosions and spliced the whole sentence together, but because he added the explosion, he was able to keep the action flowing into the next few explosions. Incidentally, he could have cut out the olive oil bit too, but he used that to slow down the pace of the explosions. He's essentially juggling scenes of Doug playing the video game and him having a conversation. In fact, the entire video is like this. When Doug texts Parkser, he inserts a shot of an explosion right after that. Then the next shot is Doug Doug replying to him, and after that is another explosion, with the final shot being Doug reading his last message and putting his phone down. An interesting bit is the explosions actually act as a buffer for these shots. They simulate time passing while still keeping the video fast-paced, which is very clever. And when the conversation is over, the video resumes with more explosions. These shots keep the action going, so when Doug starts playing again, the flow of the challenge itself isn't ruined. Finally, let's talk about progression and how it's portrayed by the editor Danu. Danu? Look, I watch VTubers, I can't speak English anymore. What's really important in all of Doug's videos is how he progresses through the game, and one way to capture Doug's insanity is through a montage. Danu picks key moments in his run that gets him across the map. Doing this makes you experience the entire journey really fast, and simply cutting to his destination would be confusing and disappointing. This is different from Keke's montage from before. His was about Doug dying in ridiculous ways, while Danu's is about going places. They're the same in that they both happen in a short span of time, but they both accomplish different things. Another fun thing to note is how he uses Twitch chat to progress through the challenge as well. Because the conversation about Biff and Owl 13 are also in viral spots in the run, he uses those moments to speed through the run while also having a fun talk about Biff's stab hole.
The guy who Biff helped in aisle 31 brutally stabbed him.
Now, I don't mean to be rude to Danu here, but Barry has done this as well in Doug's other Zelda randomizer. I don't know if Barry gave him directions or if it was just a coincidence. I find it interesting how they both approached the same kind of video the same way. They both even used a montage. What's even more interesting is this style of editing is in a lot of Doug's other videos too. You sat through an entire playthrough of Donkey Kong Country while also having a conversation about giving doctors some borders, which is hilarious to think about. In conclusion, editing is pretty cool. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you've probably never even noticed. Remember that clip I played earlier for no reason? It might be funny out of context, but in context, it's even better. In the same video, the parallel effects were used in a similar shot to set up the punchline for this one. As I'm writing this video, I'm just now finding out why I like this so much. Editing is so cool if you look at it the right way. Doug has managed to find some really impressive editors to create his insane content. And I would like to thank his most beloved and iconic editor, Jesus Christ.